All right, just want to check, everybody good with their mics and their live streams and everything up? Okay, I'm going to turn it right over to Scott Sauer, SEPTA General Manager.
Okay, everybody hear me okay? All right. Safety of our customers is our top priority. And since February, we've been working closely with the FRA and the NTSB regarding concerns over fire risk in our Silverliner 4 cars. I want to point out, these are our oldest rail cars and some of the oldest in the country. Following a fire in February, we've been working to develop a comprehensive set of 40 mitigation measures. We've done that in cooperation with both the FRA and the NTSB. This ranges from additional notifications and safety checks to our personnel to audible alarms for fault lights. Due to these efforts, we are confident that we can safely continue service with the Silverliner 4 fleet. And we have some new steps in place. Today, we've added in-person inspections for all trains going through the center city stations. That means all indicator lights are being checked again, in addition to other checks and inspections already in place. We have also added live video monitoring that allows our control center supervisors to look into all trains to check on these indicator lights. In addition, we've been using the Silverliner 4s less than the rest of the fleet, and we've instituted more frequent and thorough inspections. We have the utmost respect for the NTSB, and we share their concerns. Last week, there was an incident in which an indicator light came on in a train, but was not reported. Later that day, a traction motor caught fire. While there were no injuries from that incident, this is unacceptable. We are going to continue to work closely with the FRA and the NTSB and continue to work the mitigation measures to ensure service remains safe. Due to our ongoing funding constraints, we have had to continue to operate these trains long beyond the time they should have been retired. However, we are confident that these trains are safe. And we are also confident that our mitigation efforts will allow us to maintain safe service for our customers moving forward. I'll take questions.
Scott, you talked about the measures you put in place today. I'm curious, the NTSB, without its enforcement action, doesn't have any. Its recommendations, though, are to pull this fleet. You said you're confident. What makes SEPTA so confident that these lights are what you're relying on?
Yeah, the lights are just an indicator that something has gone awry. And the engineer reports that light to our control center, which there are maintenance managers on staff up there, and they can troubleshoot those lights. And why I am so confident is we have taken these steps. This is not a new practice that started today. We've been doing this for the last several months. In fact, we had a situation just a couple months ago where we had taken a whole lot of our trains out of service. It was affecting the service for our customers because we needed to understand better what these lights actually meant and what was the core issue of the problem. We felt, and again, we worked all these measures with NTSB, with the FRA, and we felt pretty confident that we could get the lights, we understood the lights effectively enough to get the trains back out and that they were safe for service. All the mitigation measures we've done, and I said there's about 40 of them, we've done in concert with our regulator, with the NTSB. They were confident that we were moving in the right direction. So that's why yesterday the trains were safe, today the trains are safe.
How many trains are in the Silverliner 4 fleet?
There's about 225 cars in the Silverliner 4 fleet. That makes up about 2/3 of our rail fleet.
And what lines are they on?
They're everywhere. We don't designate a vintage of car to run on a particular line. We run the Silverliner 4s, which are circa 1975. We run the Silverliner 5s, which are circa 2011, 12, and then our push-pull fleet, which is coaches pulled by a locomotive engine. There's about 45 of those, and they typically run in express service.
These are regional rail lines on the 4 and 5. Right?
All regional rail cars, yes. Everything that we're talking about here is regional rail.
How much is this all the mitigation efforts cost?
Well, it's operating costs at this point. I mean, the fact of the matter is we have spent a lot. I don't have a figure I can share with you at this moment, but we've been spending in overtime and attention to these measures for the last several months. As I said, we agree with the NTSB. This is an urgent matter. We want to make sure that these cars are safe. So we have pulled out every stop to try to do that. And so we've used overtime, we've brought in help, consultant support, and as I said, the FRA and NTSB have had staff on site with us for about 8 months. So we've been working this problem, trying to figure out what the best solutions are, and we believe we're there. Have we found the root cause of all the issues? If you looked at the issues that the NTSB put forward, they were all individual and different issues. There wasn't a pattern that we could find. So there is no root cause. It has eluded all of us. But what we have found is the root cause of each incident, and we've been able to take measures to avoid that particular incident. For example, on the traction motor fire, the crew responded effectively. They actually put the fire out themselves with a handheld fire extinguisher. That's something that we were able to identify where that came from. It was an electrical feed to those traction motors. The roof resistors that were an issue earlier this year, we were able to go through and change out all the resistors on the fleet. So we've been identifying each incident and going out and taking measures to make sure that the rest of the fleet doesn't experience that problem. What we have been unable to find, what the FRA has been unable to find, what the NTSB has been unable to find, is one definitive cause that has led to all of it. And we still could work on that today.
Were you surprised then that the NTSB came out today and said this route should be pulled?
I'll certainly say that I did not know it was coming. So yes, a little bit. But certainly, look, we've been working with them for many months. We all see the urgency in this. So while I was surprised at the recommendation, we share their concern. And this is why, look, we won't put a car out there that doesn't pass our inspection process. We have gone through these cars and continue to go through these cars with as fine-tooth a comb as we can to try to mitigate these incidents from occurring. No fire is acceptable in any way possible.
I know you said that you're not going to pull the fleet, but if you were to pull the fleet, what does service look like?
Well, we would lose 2/3 of our fleet, which essentially would mean we lose 2/3 of our service. It looks like a Saturday level schedule every day.
What do you have to say to people who are hearing this and thinking, do I feel safe getting on the train?
I would tell them that I ride the trains just like they do, and I am confident, 100% confident, we are putting safe cars on the line. We will not put a car out there that does not pass muster, and I believe that we have a track record of doing just that. Whether you harken way back to our equalizer beam issue from 2016 to as recently as just a few months ago with our dynamic brake operating lights, we have committed that we will not put cars out, and if that means that service suffers, then that's what's best for our customer for that moment.
Can you pinpoint the breakdown on September 25th? The light's on, the train leaves again.
Yeah, so the September 25th incident was a troubling incident for us. Our crews, they do a great job, and we've been getting calls on these lights every day. We get something that has to be looked at. Maintenance looks at it. They either clear it or they don't. The September 25th incident, the fault light was lit. It didn't get reported, and then it led eventually to the traction motor fire. It's unacceptable. It's not something that we certainly will deal with. We will deal with it internally. But I will say we've gotten great cooperation from the labor unions. Our crews and our maintenance forces have all stepped up. They know the importance of this. It was an unacceptable failure in our process, and we've addressed it immediately.
Was the NTSB, have they been aware of all these mitigation efforts that you put?
They've been with us hand in hand.
So I just have to point out in the report, they said the outdated design combined with SEPTA's maintenance and operating practices, those operating practices have failed to protect passengers and crews because defective cars remain in service.
Well, I mean, my response to that is, while that may have been the case, throughout this process, we have tightened up all those procedures, which is why the incidents have been less frequent. So we are responding to every single mitigation measure that we either come up with on our own or that the FRA tells us to do. The FRA being the regulator, they can order us to change. When they do, we respond. The NTSB, throughout this process, if they tell us, hey, this is what you guys should be doing, we've done it. So everything that we've done up to this point certainly has helped. Are we there to where we can kind of kind of dust our hands off and go. No, we're always going to be looking for the next possible failure. That's the point of preventive maintenance. You want to catch the failure before it manifests itself. So that operating failure that I just described from September 25th, that was a failure of our process. We had to go back and tighten that up and make sure that that can't happen again. The mitigation measure I mentioned in my remarks, where we can now look in through a video feed. So we can have managers actually look into the operating cab, look for that light themselves. So we're getting less and less reliant on the crew to tell us. We're actually, our engineering group is looking at a possibility now that we can have that light even report to our control center, so that if it lights, it send a message to us. The more we can get the human element out of the process, the better off we will be, and that's what we're working towards.
Is there any timeline at this point to phase these cars out?
Well, yes and no. I mean, the timeline is a long one, but we've started our process to replace these cars. Again, this goes back to what we've been talking about for the last year, is our funding. Our capital funding is just as dire as our operating funding. So this, as I mentioned, this is 225 cars. This is about a $2 billion procurement. We do not have funding in our capital budget to replace these cars. So we are going to look for debt service. We're going to look for a loan, and we're going to take on debt to replace these cars. And what that means is, over the next 30 to 40 years, we're going to be paying back a loan with interest. But it is going to expedite our ability to go out and procure new cars. Procuring a rail car, however, is not as easy as buying a car off the dealership lot. This has to be designed. It has to be in compliance with all of FRA's regulations. It has to be able to run on our territory as well as Amtrak's territory, and of course all the things that go into a rail car design. So we are looking at anywhere from 6 to 10 years to fully replace this fleet. Now, there are options, and there's things that we're looking at, some creative ideas that maybe we can look at other carriers across the country and find out if they're offloading cars, and we can maybe look at them for help. But that's an uncertainty at this point, because everybody is looking for cars. But it's something that we're pursuing.
Does SEPTA have to provide a formal response to the board?
We will provide a response to the board and let them know what our activities are and how we are going to meet what the NTSB needs to see from us, which is mitigating these incidents from occurring. So we will provide a written response. All right?
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.